Pass it off to Courtney. She's going to talk about vegetables and marketing and how the whole thing all comes
together. Well, I think I'll bring it back to the topic of consumer direct marketing and how we take all of this energy and leverage it. Consumer direct marketing is absolutely the way we do it. I put up here for you the definition of what it actually is. And this comes from the Direct Marketing Association. And I did this because I thought, why am I talking to you today about consumer direct marketing? And I realized that all of the work that I've done, give it in a for-profit setting or a non-profit setting, really, this is the tool that we've all used. And we've used it the most effective way possible we can. And that can be small scale, from sending out a mailer to something that's intensive community-supported agriculture, which is what our farm engages in now. So I thought that this is a good place to start. We are a small-scale farm. We're a specialty farm. So for us, everything that leaves the farm, we really needed to return retail dollars. And we need to keep our prices fair for our community as well. That's a really important piece of what we do and our approach to our vegetables. And our really close contact with our community coming through the farmers market is supporting our community-supported agriculture, which provides us our weekly share program that we offer to the community, provides us a stable income. And also, we can produce vegetables at a stable rate. We can plan our crops better. We can plan out a 3-year program based on our community supporting us in this way. And we have the agility to really respond quickly to our customers as well, because we know them. They come and pick up their vegetables from us every week. And so we're really able to use this consumer direct marketing as a tool that allows us to respond quickly and without having to spend a lot of money to do it. It's our face time with our folks. We actually want to be there. So it's like getting paid for having fun. And so it's a pretty amazing experience. So that's why we're here today to share this, because we have, as a specialty farm, we have another product that we grow, which is our medicinal cannabis. And our market isn't right here in our own community. Our vegetables, yes, but we need to take that product outside of our own community. So we need to partner with someone that can spend the time that we spend equally to our community in doing that for us. We can't be there. So we were looking at ways that we could partner with other folks who would hold our mission and really hold this process with us. So we're going to share a new model today. We're really excited about that. But one of the reasons that I was really excited to talk about direct-to-consumer marketing is I came from a nonprofit background where we addressed domestic violence and sexual assault and child abuse, and it was challenging. And it was really hard because of the social values and connotations that all of those things had. Even if people were in support of ending it forever, we still had a lot of work to do and a lot of messaging. And direct-to-consumer marketing gives us the control around our messaging. We get to share who we are and what we're about with people in the most honest way we can. It's us. So that's a really valuable tool that we can also use within the cannabis movement. And Casey has mentioned now is the time. So it's really important for us to be out there and to show people where their cannabis is coming from, where their produce is coming from. And we're really lucky. We're riding on the back of the food movement, which has created folks that are already ready and primed to care about the things that they consume. So we don't even really have to work that hard. People care already. It's a beautiful thing. So, and they're informed and they're a smart consumer as well. So they already know. And it's just how we partner with others to really get that out there and to get our unique community and our unique products that come out of our community out. So it's really even our vegetables. I'm even looking at ways that I can leverage my relationships that I build outside of my community through cannabis and partner with value-added products that I can take from this community there as well. So, yeah, do it.
So that touched on a couple more thoughts thoughts and possibilities for me. The aggregation is what we're talking about. So aggregation and logistics, these are the not sexy parts. Farming has become awesome. Aggregation and logistics, driving around, making the meetings, putting the stuff together, that's a different story. So that's what we're working on as a people. We need this ability to come together, push product out of the area to people who know they want it and are already expecting to receive it. So that's what the CSA model has allowed, and that's what we're thinking about in terms of how do we move this forward. All of us as farmers, we need to come up with our farm names, we need to come up with our individual branding so that we're all, each as businesses, able to say, look, we have these great products from these great farms, your farm bio, all the thing, the different what your slopes are like, what your soil is like, however you feel like describing your farm, and it's this knowledge base that we're building to put out there to the world so that people can say, it's like right now people are like, oh, I buy this bottle of wine from Argentina and it's grown, and same thing with cannabis. That's what we're shooting to access, is this connoisseur label where people are like, oh, well, my cannabis comes out like that. And so as we move forward, it's this whole process of us understanding that we're as legitimate as we want to be, and the more legit we want to be, the more able we're going to be able to move this thing forward, because we're still a marginalized populace. For instance, there's a lot of question about how should the regulations work, and there's a whole range of different practices, and some people think it should be no inputs, really super specialized with environmental concerns, and it's great, but we don't have that kind of political capital. And so what we have to do is fight for a flat level playing field that lets anybody play ball, especially us small farmers, and then our marketing and branding in the future is what's going to define our specialized different practices. And that's the thing, is that we all have different ways of doing it, and in a legitimate economy where we can represent that as farmers, that gives us an edge, because I started to talk about it earlier and I never finished the point. The economics of it is what sustains us, but the love has always been what it's about. And corporate cannabis is never going to be anything but a product. It's never going to be anything but economic. And for us, it's always going to be about the love. Great success. And so with that, we met this gentleman last summer, and it was immediately clear that we shared the same values, that he understood our process, we understood his process, and that together we could work for something that might genuinely benefit our community and our reality. And so without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to Michael. Great success.
So that was a perfect segue for what I'm going to talk about, and I guess I'm here to talk a little bit more about the consumer direct marketing model. And I guess before I do that, before I even introduce myself and what I'm doing, I'd like to just tell the story of how I met Casey and the people at Happy Day Farm. You'll notice I'm wearing the Happy Day shirt. And it's a pretty kind of serendipitous story, so I figured I'd start off sharing that. So I'm originally from Venezuela, and I moved to the Bay Area, to San Francisco, about 2 years ago, really in the pursuit of really getting more involved with the cannabis industry, understanding the people involved, and really trying to figure out in a meaningful way how I could bring my skills and my experience to add value, to really make a difference in the space. And when I started in California about 2 years ago, I started meeting with the different people that I could reach out to through Facebook, LinkedIn. I originally connected with Amanda Ryman, who's the California director of the Drug Policy Alliance. And through that, I worked at a dispensary for a couple months, just kind of learning the ins and outs as a volunteer. And then in one of these Canada business investment conferences in San Francisco that I attended to, which was clearly full of guys with suits and the Wall Street approach, I saw a gentleman that had a funky hat and a Joker card on his hat. And it's he's sitting back there actually. And when you're at a conference with guys full of suits and you see a guy with a Joker card on a hat, you're like, that's the guy I need to talk to. So I talked to him and I approached him, and we became good friends and connected a couple times. And one of those times he said, "Hey, I'll take you up to Humboldt, I'll show you around, I'll introduce you to some people." And I had never been up to Humboldt, obviously knew a lot about it. So obviously I took the deal straight up, and we came to Humboldt, and he organized an amazing weekend for me, truly. I met a whole bunch of people, met a whole bunch of folks. I connected with everyone from the top to the bottom, and on the last day, he organized a barbecue at one of the farmers that he knew, and he said, "You have to meet this farmer. He has amazing cannabis plants." And I was like, "Yes, let's go." So I go to this farm, and I didn't really know what to expect. For me, farming in Venezuela is, very unsophisticated, very uninvolved. It's like, you have a couple cattle, a couple vegetables, and, there's a small little shack. So I really didn't know what to expect. And obviously I was blown away at how beautiful Happy Days Farms is. And there's just the loving and attention and caring that goes into like not only the cannabis, but the entire vegetable process and everything else that they do up there. So we sat down and we had an amazing meal, which they prepared there on the farm with vegetables that they had grown themselves, and meats that they had either, I think we had a wild boar that day or something that you guys had caught or exchanged or something. And it was truly, truly magical. I mean, I left Venezuela, which is a very family-oriented kind of culture, and I had not had that experience with my wife ever since I moved to San Francisco. And for me, I remember telling Casey that I just felt like going back to my grandmother's house. I come from a Jewish background, so my Jewish grandmother, like whenever you go visit her, even if you just say, hey, I'm gonna go give you a hug and a kiss and say hello, she always prepares this massive meal for like 18 people, and it felt a little bit like that. I mean, at that lunch we had like all these different dishes, all these different flavors, and it was just amazing to see that all of it just came together from the farm. And in one of those moments when I was with Casey, I said, Casey, I'm just like in awe, I'm blown away how amazing this food tastes and how it all looks and feels. And he just said, I remember that he was like, and without cannabis, like none of this would be possible. So that really struck me because, I was in San Francisco and I was working with a team of engineers and we were building, software and technology and tools to help dispensaries better connect with patients. And when I realized this, I was like, hey, the real opportunity and the real way to really add value is to actually create a platform and connect patients directly with farmers. Put farmers on the spotlight, give them a chance to connect to the patients, send them a message, tweet at them, connect through Facebook, and then you guys can have that communication with the patients. You can actually see how your medicine is affecting them, how they feel, and get that rapport. And so I think that kind of segues into talking about what the business model actually is and how it all works. But before that, I'd like to show this quick little video, and then I'll get into more into who I am and what the business looks like. So we get the video up and running.